Joining me now, Wall Street Journal senior video reporter Shelby Holiday, Moody's Capital Markets chief economist John Lonski. Great to have you both here. I just think of the number of times that Donald Trump told us he was a winner and that we're going to have to get used to winning. And here we are with the market up more than 6% since Election Day. He's got everything breaking his way in Europe right now. It is, and the U.S. steelworkers fight. A steelworker fighting him. U.S. steel stock is up. Are you ready for this? Do you know, John?
No, I don't. No.
It's over 70%. I mean, 70%.
He said we're going to get sick of winning. I don't think anyone's sick of it yet,
No,
but he did make that promise.
I don't think that he thought we'd get sick of it either, because if we hadn't won so long, I think he was probably just worried about enriching our diet too quickly. John, the empirical evidence that it's a new direction, that this country has a new mood that is being formed right now, and it's a brighter one by far. We see it almost everywhere, don't we?
Yeah, everybody's become much more confident thus far, especially, I guess, in the markets. I mean, you're talking about different indices. The Russell 2000 index, small to mid-sized cap companies, up 16%. And that's where a lot of the jobs growth comes from, those types of firms, smaller firms.
What's driving it? What do you think is driving it?
Well, we have seen, there are a few factors. We have seen some positive economic data. We've seen signs of a healthy American workforce. But overall, it's Trump's pro-growth policies. Investors are incredibly excited about the prospect of lower taxes, decreased regulations, investment into infrastructure and defense. It really is being driven by Trump, but I think it's interesting to note that investors are kind of ignoring some of Trump's rhetoric on trade and his threat the other day to tax companies at the border. They don't think that's going to happen, probably because there's a Republican-controlled Congress that has signaled they won't let that happen.
I would only, if I may add this caveat in what you say. It may well be those very investors have discounted the impact of his trade policies in various ways, including that it's very positive for the economy, that it will focus the impact of whatever stimulus results within the borders of this country, and he will drive employment levels.
It's a stick. It's a bargaining chip. That's how it's going to be used. And hopefully other countries will go along with trade negotiations the way we want them to, and we'll both be better off as a result.
Yeah, say that again. I mean, think about it. People are not even discussing the fact that rational trade policies, fair and equitable, mutual trade policies will be mutually beneficial. Right now, Trump is right. We have since 1976, run deficits. Consecutive, think about that, for 40 years. And the result is that we have slowed our own economy's growth. How much growth are we giving up as a result of those deficits? It's huge, and that means a huge number of jobs.
And at some point, you're going to find out that the middle classes in China and in India are much bigger than that of the United States. And as a result, the U.S. consumer is no longer the price maker worldwide, but the price taker. And that could be calamitous for the U.S. economy. You can't run these deficits indefinitely. Yeah. In my mind,
the Chamber of Commerce and Business Roundtable, just think about what Dr. Lonski had to say.
Well, Trump is not a right-winger. He's a pragmatist. He's a realist.
And he's rational. And he is right now the only rational on trade policy. He's the only rationalist on trade policies in the country.
He's also said he's flexible, which is really interesting, because businesses, of course, like predictability. They want to know what the policies will.
Doesn't it? Flexible.
Well, Trump said you have to be flexible, and he has signaled he will be flexible. So I guess the big question is, what will those policies ultimately look like? He's a negotiator. We don't know yet.
He doesn't live in a land of make-believe. I think that's the important consideration, and that's what the rest of the world is going to find out. That's what businesses are going to find out, as well as labor.
And he is, without question, without reservation. He is driving home precisely what he said he would do with corporate America on the issues of outsourcing and offshoring. And it's an early start, and he's only gaining and will gain more momentum. Thank you both for being here. Shelby, good to see you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.